So we have the Jackson Hole Symposium this week. Let's talk about it. So with the Jackson Hole Symposium, it is an annual conference event that takes place in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where basically macroeconomists, academics, and central bankers alike come together to discuss macro events. Now, the premise of this whole event is pretty much to address economic challenges such as monetary policy, macroeconomic challenges, and financial stability. Now, each year there's a theme that is correlated to the macroeconomic conditions that we're all facing. Now, some of the topics can range from market resilience, economic resilience, monetary policy, and global inflation. Now, this event is pretty much widely respected and it has historical relevance because this event pretty much sets the precedents for global monetary policy for other central banks. Now, this week, all eyes are on Jerome Powell as many people are looking to him to forecast as far as what is the next step for future monetary policy. Now, some of the key things to look forward to as far as within the symposium is Jerome Powell's speech about interest rate signals, economic resiliency, unemployment. Jerome Powell is probably going to talk about as far as staying data dependent, getting inflation to its 2% target, and the future of monetary policy. Now, the reason why many investors are paying attention to this event is because this is going to give a signal as far as where the rates will go, but also the markets will follow. So investors will pay attention to this event because as we are getting more economic data that consumers are still strong in retail, and we're also seeing that unemployment is also ticking down, and we have other deflationary events taking place. This will give a insight as far as if we will get a rate cut next month in September. Many economists are speculating that we may get multiple rate cuts this year, and some are saying that we may get only one, and some are saying none. So this event is important because we'll see where Jerome Powell may signal where the interest rates may go in the following months. So you may be asking, why are interest rates so important? Well, simply because it boils down to spending money, capital. So since 2021, we've seen that the market has been ticking up as far as within interest rates. Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve banks have been making it a point to tackle inflation. As inflation got up to roughly 10% in the last few years, we've had to address the fact that inflation was now attacking our everyday cost of living. So as a result, when interest rates went up, borrowing money became more expensive. So we went from zero interest rates all the way up to 5.5% as far as interest rates. Now, you may be asking, well, how does this have any relevance? Well, this makes money more expensive to borrow when it comes down to running a business, when it comes down to getting a loan. These things have economic events or economic consequences as interest rates begin to get more higher. So the markets are pretty much looking for Jerome Powell to essentially cut rates. As rates have been higher lately, we've seen that unemployment has been ticking up. We've seen that regional banks have went out of business. Some had participated in mergers. And so this is pretty much eating at the entire macro environment, that as rates have been up, we've seen a lot of things unfold. And we've seen that many people now are struggling just to keep up with everyday needs. So a rate cut will do the market some justice. Now, some fears that some people have raised is that if interest rates begin to start getting cut, does this mean that there are inflationary implications behind if we start to see rate cuts? Well, the question is, will it? The answer is nobody really knows indefinitely how rate cuts will affect the market and the macro environment. Yes, it will decrease some form of pressures on everyday living. However, if we see rate cuts, we're going to see that housing is pretty much going to continue to climb higher. Why? Because more people now have more access to capital. And at this point now, you're going to start to see that there may be a bidding war. We've recently seen an uptick in applications for mortgages. And as a result, we're going to see that sellers are going to start listing higher prices for their homes, because as they begin to tackle on selling their homes, they're looking to purchase new homes. And if they begin to purchase new homes, they're walking into higher interest rates. many people who've bought homes prior to 2020 experienced low mortgage rates. But now in this type of environment, we're seeing that mortgages are between 6 to 8% versus your historical 2 to 3%. So this has some type of implication as far as if we see that rate cuts begin to happen, we're probably going to see mortgage applications tick up. We're probably going to see that there's going to be bidding wars on homes. And as a result, it's still going to be this battle for many people to be able to afford a home. Another thing that many people have been speculating is, will we see a recession or will we experience a soft landing? Jerome Powell has been under the impression that we will see a soft landing as we see the macro events begin to unfold. Though we're experiencing higher unemployment rates, we are still historically lower than the average at 5.6%. So this is a victory possibly that Powell will see as he continues to get inflation down to his 2% target. We've been seeing a steady decline over the years that Jerome Powell has done a great job as far as getting inflation down these last few years. So many are speculating, though, as we see that other recessionary indicators such as the 2 and 10-year yield have recently began to uninvert. These are implications that we may see a recession to come in the years near. So many people are under the impression that we are just gearing up for a recession as we've seen unemployment numbers begin to tick up. So this week will be a big week for investors and the world alike, because many people are going to look at as far as where will Jerome Powell signal rates to go. Will he cut rates or will he keep rates the same? So with that being said, be sure to tune in. There are different platforms you can watch the Jackson Hole Symposium. CNBC typically hosts the event, and it'll be something worthwhile watching as you start to see the things unfold. It'll probably take place Thursday all the way to Saturday, so be sure to check it out. Be sure to watch it, stay informed. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share